This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I am your host, Matt, and today's game we'll be pitting two Benchwarmer teams against each other. Originally we had a guest, but backed out in the last minute, so I had all these things preloaded on the script to read to the guest, but I guess I will skip all that, and I'll just go right to the Benchwarmers who are on tonight. So we have Mr. Walling and Mr. Bombach teaming up to face off against Mr. Ellis and Mr. Lundberg. So, gentlemen, welcome to the bench. Let's start off with Eric Walling, since you're in the top left of my screen. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. I am on day 4 of my bourbon advent calendar. Currently nosing through what I've got is some vanilla maple toffee notes. It's really, really beautiful smell. I'll be taking you through a journey of this glass today on NPR. And Marcus and I are very excited that the CFP folks didn't fall for the Saban magic, Sabanisms. Go Frogs. And we're also very, very excited that Fred McGriff got into the Hall of Fame tonight. Yay.
And I assume that Josh is going second because he has your team name?
Yeah, I let him have it. I don't understand it, but I get it.
It just says, who?
Yeah. Josh?
Hello, Josh.
Uh-oh.
I'm muted.
It was an epic rant that he was on, guys. Fist was shaking.
It was fantastic, whatever you were saying.
So, Matt, what I said was I'm going second because you had Walling go first. That's kind of how teammates go.
That does how things work. Yeah.
That is a technicality, but he is right.
Yeah. I'm doing all right. Been battling a little bit of a cough for the better part of
been going all around.
So that's why I was muted there, because I was, I'll be muting so I can cough here and there without disrupting our audio. And while those of you listeners don't really know, I've not been a big fan of Walling's new self-proclaimed nickname.
The one Dan gave me?
The one that apparently in retroactively, whatever, this will be the only time I actually refer to him as this. But, we had our wonderful team name that was given to us by
Howie.
Our
Bud Howie.
Our Bud Howie, the Schwab. It was Walling. Josh loved that name. So today, the only time I will say these couple of words is today we are the elder Josh hate that name.
All right. And we'll hand it over to our other team, Marcus and Dan. I guess the two of you can determine who will go first based off of who has the team name, and I won't just automatically select you.
I'll go first. I'm doing well. The College Football Playoff Committee finally did something right for once. Because I was pretty pissed off at just overall their top 12 going into last week. But they did it. They did the right thing. It's fine. And go Frogs. So that's all I got.
When are they going to 12?
2024. So one more year of just 4. And then.
Okay. Good. Then I can start paying more attention.
Have they determined a format? Is there going to be like a bye for the top 4 or something?
Yep, top 4 get a bye. First round games will be played at the schools. And then the greedy bowl bastards will get the next round of games at the bowls because, that's super important. Wouldn't be cool to have a semifinal game or a quarterfinal game be played like at a school. That would suck. That'd be terrible. So anyways.
All right, over to Dan.
Hey, Romy. Thanks for the Vime. Long time. No time,
What, Jim Rome?
I don't know where that all came from. Just I was earlier today. I was looking at some old road trips and was reminded of Jim Rome's favorite Wisconsin town, Menominee, and I was just thinking Jim Rona this whole time. So, and you were the one that decided to wish us our I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore. Yeah. Anyway, I'm the one
Who's the one drinking bourbon
show.
tonight?
15 minutes ago, I wasn't going to be on this show. So,
Good. Yep. Yes. Thank you.
I had already shut my brain off for the night. And then there was this wild call for someone else to join the show. And I'm like, all right, fine. I can do this. I'm going to have to do it with half a brain tied behind my head. And,
All right. Well, what do you got for a team name?
Oh, we have to do that too. Okay.
Sure.
This is based mostly on Marcus. So, I mean, I came up with it, but it's Marcus's voice that does it. Since we're talking about all the different voices that Marcus does, we decided that Mr. Sharp probably never did this. So we said that we're going to never skip leg day. Skip leg day.
I love it. I love it. I looked at Marcus for the reaction.
Not gonna do it.
His response to Dan doing it was like, I'm not going to add anything to that. That's good.
No,
We're good.
I want to let that breathe.
By the way, that is spelled THKIP.
Yep, it's
It
exactly.
is.
That's what they sent me, and I was like, "Wait, now, did you typo there?"
Yeah, did you hear me? He was going, TH.
Said never what? Like, nope. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. I'm like, all right.
And I assume that you're going to pronounce it that way the entire game too, right?
I'll do the best I can. Yes,
Right.
there we go.
Or Marcus can do it.
Just make your tongue extra heavy as you start to say
There
that.
you go. All right. Well, let's hand it over to not half brain, fully brain Dan to read the rules for us.
We'll be starting off with the tailgate to warm up the teams. This will be followed by 4 quarters of play, each with a different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions pertaining to sports. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from the points they've accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
I did that in one take.
You did. Awesome.
Josh doesn't believe me, but I did.
Ginseng tea is magic.
I don't believe you. No, I don't.
I didn't say what all was in this ginseng tea, but there is ginseng in there.
That's why they call him One Take Dan.
There you go.
That's only why they call it that.
All right. So today's first quarter will be fill the gaps.
Fill the gaps. This quarter will consist of 3 questions with up to 5 pieces of missing information. The teams will attempt to fill in each piece of missing information. Each answer is worth 10 points.
I am never good at these.
Waiting for Marcus to say something, and it's not happening.
We're all looking at each other like, who's going to be inappropriate tonight?
We have the audio from my from that one that I did. If we ever want to use that again,
Fill the gaps.
Fill the gaps.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. In 1996, Robert Allen, or R.A. Dickey, was drafted by blank in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft. Dickey made his debut with the team in blank, but his stuff was considered to be dime a dozen. And even with a 4-1 start, he finished the season 6-7 with a 5.61 ERA. In 2005, Dickey realized that the blank pitch he was throwing was actually a hard knuckleball, and he decided to focus his energy on perfecting that pitch. He spent 2 years in the minors with the Oklahoma Redhawks and Nashville Sounds, but in Nashville he was 12-6 and the Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Year in 2007. After bouncing around a bit, in 2011, Dickey signed a 2-year contract with the blank for over $6 million. But winning the Cy Young in 2012 made his value skyrocket, and after that season, he was traded to blank. He played 3 seasons with that team, including a 2-year extension of $25 million.
We're going to check in.
All right, there. The elder Josh, hate that name, has checked in. You got about 30 seconds there. Never skip leg day.
Okay, so we've got the Rangers for 1, the forkball for 3, the Mets for 4, the Blue Jays for 5. We just need to figure out when he started. It's early 2000s. I don't have a exact year though. So
the early 2000s were fun to be a Mariners fan. That was the last time it was fun.
Yeah.
For now. I don't know.
He was with the Rangers for quite a while. I don't know. 01, 02, 03, somewhere in there.
Let's say 2001 because the Mariners won 116 games that year. So let's do that.
All right. 2001. So Rangers, 2001, forkball, Mets, Blue Jays.
All right. And the elder Josh, hate that name. What'd you guys come up with?
Yeah, so he was absolutely the Rangers because they saw him and his arm looked funny on the cover of a magazine after they drafted him and then realized, oh no, and they lowballed him for his signing bonus. So Texas Rangers, I'm pretty sure 2001 was when he came up because his 03 debut was another story. And then I had curveball because I thought he threw a hard spike. And then the Mets and the Blue Jays.
All right, both the teams are getting points, but the elder Josh, hate that name, you guys are getting 4 points because it is the Texas Rangers, 2001, the forkball, the Mets, and the Blue Jays. Yeah, I guess he had a hard grip and a hard dip on the forkball, and that's why like his his knuckleball was a lot faster or harder than Wakefield or the other guys. Actually, I don't know if you've seen that, but there was a documentary about the knuckleball. I've talked about it a lot. Last I think I was on Netflix. But anyway, R.A. Dickey's the one who started the documentary and talked about his career too. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, so Josh and Eric are getting 4 points or 40 points, and Dan and Marcus are getting 50 points.
He played for all of our teams.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Ended up his career with where'd he end up in the A's for a season?
I think the Braves.
The Braves. You're right. Yep.
So real quick, when the first time he came up as a knuckleballer, Buck Showalter was the manager. He gave up, I think, 7 home runs in 2 innings.
Yeah, he tied a record with Tim Wakefield for the most amount of home runs in 1 inning.
Yeah, and that was like when Chris Shelton hit like 400 home runs in the first week of the season. And when they asked Buck Showalter if he took any positives out of the game, his quote, and I remember this is one of my favorite quotes of all time, was, yeah, some of the hits weren't home runs.
He also set a record when he was trying to learn how to throw the knuckleball. He set a record for the most amount of wild pitch, or tied a record for the most amount of wild pitches in 1 inning with 4.
Got to get a catcher that can handle the knuckleball.
Yeah.
So I got a quick question. So we have R.A. Dickey and we had Y.A. Tittle. Well, we know Y.A. Tittle is young adult Tittle.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what R.A. stands for?
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Rheumatoid. There you go, rheumatoid.
Rheumatoid.
Skip. I got rheumatoid. I thought it was arthritis. I can't do it. I tried, Marcus. Come on. All right. Moving on to question number 2. Orenthal James Simpson was born in San Francisco, California on July 9th, 1947. After winning the 1968 Heisman Trophy with USC, he was taken first overall in the 1969 NFL draft by the blank. In 1973, he became the first NFL player to rush over 2,000 yards in a single season, which stands out among other people that have earned that same achievement, as Simpson only did it in a regular season that had blank number of games long. I read that wrong, but you guys get the idea. In 1977, he was married to his wife, Marguerite, who was pregnant with their daughter, Erin, when he met an 18-year-old server named Blank Brown in Beverly Hills. After Brown was murdered following her and Simpson's divorce, Simpson did not turn himself in at the predetermined time and went on a memorable low-speed chase in a 1993 Ford Bronco driven and owned by former teammate Blank. On September 13th, 2006, Simpson was arrested for breaking into a hotel and casino in Las Vegas and stealing Blank from Bruce Fromage. I assume that's how you pronounce his name. A notable dealer of these kinds of goods.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good to check in. Well, we'll check in.
Yeah.
All right, don't skip leg day has checked in. The elder Josh, I hate that name. You guys can talk it out.
Never heard of this guy. Have you ever heard of him?
Oh, I've heard of this guy.
Oh, okay.
He's in my Rolodex.
I wonder, what if he did it? Like, would he have written a book? Bills 14, Nicole, Al Cowlings, and he beat up a dude about some sports memorabilia, right? In a hotel room.
Do believe so, yeah.
Is it 14 games? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. That was before
Okay.
they had expanded to 16 and now 17.
Yep. Okay, so Bills 14, Nicole Brown, Al Cowlings, and memorabilia, sports memorabilia.
Okay, and never skip leg day.
We have checked in with Buffalo 14 as Dan wrote it in number 3, Nicole, but we're gonna say Nicole. I laughed for a good 30 seconds just reading it out loud. Nicole.
That's what Al Cowling called
Yeah.
her.
For Al Cowling and 5 sports memorabilia.
Yep, you guys nailed it. All of you across the board, 100%. Don't even need to repeat it. And thank you. I reached out and our buddy Ryan Myers wrote that one for me. So,
Do you guys know the other person to run for 2014 games?
no. Who's that?
Dickerson?
No.
Nope.
Barry Sanders, because in his 2,000-yard season, in his first 2 games combined, he rushed for like 52 yards and he ran for 2001 in the final 14 games.
Oh, there you go. Good point.
So it's a technicality, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fun little fact.
Funny.
That's awesome.
All right, moving on to question number 3. Eric Rodriguez, or EJ Manuel Jr., attended blank high school in Virginia Beach, Virginia, but I'm not sure if he ever hung out at the Max after school. After high school, EJ attended blank university, where for his first 2 seasons he was the backup to blank, who's most noteworthy for being the future husband of an ESPN reporter and host. Sorry, guys. In 2012, he led his team to a blank conference championship and a bowl win over Northern Illinois for a 12-2 record. After college, he was drafted number blank overall by the Buffalo Bills.
We're taking it.
All right. Never skip leg day is checked in. The elder Josh, hate that name. You guys can talk it out.
Well, I mean, if I went to Bayside High School, I had to definitely hang out at the Max so I could watch AC Slater dance.
That's what you would be doing?
Well, I would look at him dancing and then realize that Jesse and Kelly were unattended.
How dare you? How dare you disrespect Lisa Turtle like that? I'll kill you.
Yeah,
I will
just
kill you.
Put some
Lisa
respect
Turtle.
on Lisa Turtle's name.
It's not a Lisa Turtle thing. It's a post Saved by the Bell Lisa Turtle thing.
We're not thinking about that. We're at Bayside.
Sorry, I can't separate Kanye from his music catalog. I can't separate Lisa Turtle from what right-wing nuttiness. Florida State.
Yeah, he would have been backing up not the greatest quarterback in Vikings history. The 7th best quarterback in Vikings history?
No, he just wore number 7.
I was going to say, I don't think he's even the 7th best quarterback to play for the Vikings. He might
wasn't
be
the 7th best player in the 2000s to play for.
Yeah, it's Christian Ponder is who he was a backup to in college.
They would have been ACC then, and any idea when he was drafted? Just throw a number out there because I got nothing.
I couldn't tell you where he was drafted.
Yeah, me neither.
He wasn't. I don't think he was super top. I don't think he was top of the, top 10. I don't think so.
But he was a first rounder, so pick a number because I would guess like 20 or 23 or something like that. Late first round.
I have no idea.
Okay, 20.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So Bayside, Florida State, Christian Ponder, ACC, 20th.
Okay. And never skip leg day. What'd you guys come up with?
We came up with Bayside, Florida State, Christian Ponder, ACC, and I believe he was the 16th overall pick.
But he was drafted in New York, if that's what you were asking.
All right. I will, one team getting all the points and one team getting 4 of the points there. So yeah, you're right. Bayside High School, Florida State University, Christian Ponder, ACC, and 16th overall. So good job. Never skip leg days on running that category.
It's a 2000s draft question. When I went to getting the slotting it overall, I was like, oh yeah, I remember.
All right. So after quarter number 1, we have the elder Josh, hate that name, with 130 points, and Never Skip leg day with 150 points. It's going to get so bad here that you're going to get sick of me doing my Shannon Sharp impression pretty soon here. So,
I will never get sick of that.
It's always better when Marcus does it.
It is, but Marcus isn't going to do it. So, Matt, you'll be the second best, next best to do it.
Before we move on, I just wanted to point out that it got funnier when I looked at rheumatoid arthritis Dickey. It's like, oh no.
Oh, that sounds like an awful
Nobody wants
day.
rheumatoid arthritis.
Don't do the Google image search for that. Is that what you're saying?
No, do not. Do not.
What would be even worse would be rheumatoid arthritis Dickey boys.
What about rabid armadillos, Dickey?
All right. We're going to move on to today's second quarter, which will be the odd one out.
The odd one out. For this quarter, there will be 3 categorized questions containing lists of 6 items. The teams will attempt to choose the item from the list that does not fit the given category. Each question is worth 50 points.
So also, again, thanks to Ryan Myers for helping me out with these ones.
Okay.
Oh, you're 2 for 2 on picking my faves. Nice.
Well, he only helped me with one of the questions in the first.
No, I'm
quarter.
talking to you picking your round style, your quarter styles.
Oh yeah,
You're 2
I
for 2
really
on,
picked these because they're fast.
So my faves.
Oh, you don't like these? Okay, sorry.
I'm not good at these.
Oh, sorry.
I'm terrible at odd one out.
Odd one out's a terrible one to edit to. So thank you for that.
Tough to suss out. Yeah. Okay.
So
well,
does anyone have anything
note,
good to say about
Yes, exactly. He starts off by saying, "I do a good impression of." Anyway, okay. Move on. Question number 1. With which of the following NBA teams did J.R. Smith never play? The Cleveland Cavaliers, Denver Nuggets, the LA Lakers, the New Orleans Hornets, the New York Mets, or the Oklahoma Thunder?
You say the New York Mets.
I got the answer. That's what he said.
Yeah. Oh my God.
3, 2, 1.
What an idiot.
Auto check-in.
I guess I need to reread that then, don't I?
No, please read that.
Let's leave all this in, Dan.
Yeah,
leave all
yeah.
this in.
Cavs, Nuggets, Lakers, Hornets, Knicks, and Thunder.
The funny thing is I mean, when we first started this podcast, I used to drink either before or during, and now I had one. It was like a tiny little thing. It was like a little bit of booze with a whole bunch of thing. I'm not really drinking that much anymore. So anyway, I can't blame that.
I'm willing to put a whistle in on this if you want.
I'm doing that. We can check in.
All right. Never skip leg day. It's checked in. So the elder Josh, hate that name. You guys can talk it out.
Yeah, I think we were close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Cavs. Who can forget shirtless JR wearing a t-shirt, then wearing a t-shirt of him being shirtless. Lakers definitely, Nuggets definitely, Knicks definitely.
And I'm pretty sure he started with the Hornets.
Yeah.
And I can't ever remember him playing for the Thunder.
I can't either. So I'm good with that, if you're good with that.
Yeah, we're going to check in with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
All right. And never skip leg day. What'd you guys check in with?
His time with the Cavs, that was the soup incident, right?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said to Marcus, I don't remember him playing with the Thunder, and Marcus responded.
I said, me neither. That team. So that's what we're checking. We are also checking in with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
All right. So Oklahoma City Thunder and Oklahoma City, that team Thunder. Okay.
That's 2 whistles now. Come on.
All right. Well, both teams are getting points. The answer is the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right. Moving right along. Question number 2. From which of the following quarterbacks has T.Y. Hilton never caught a pass? Jacoby Brissett, Matt Hasselbeck, Ryan Lindley, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, or the New York Mets? No, just kidding.
Mr. Matt.
Marcus didn't even get a smile on that one. I thought I'd get a smile for that one, but
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I was looking at the quarterbacks.
At the very end, I said the New York Mets.
Everyone is going to have 7. It's going to be the New York Mets.
Okay, then. If I'm good with that, if that's what you think,
I do.
yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay. We'll check in.
The other Josh, hate that name, is checked in. Never skip leg day. You guys can talk it out.
What? Oh, wait, hold on. Wasn't he hurt a couple years ago?
T.Y. Hilton?
Out for the season? Or no? I'm thinking something else. Yeah.
But I know he got hurt a couple of times in his last like 2 out of his last 3 years. I'm fairly certain he didn't play that much.
Right.
So that puts Rivers and Wentz into play. And I guess Brissett, because it would have been him before that, because that's when Luck retired.
Right.
Because was Wentz hurt at all last year? Yeah, he was hurt sometimes, wasn't he?
When has he not been?
Yeah, right. Exactly. If you feel better about Hasselbeck, I'm totally fine going with that.
I don't. I think Wentz had to. I think he had to have thrown him. So I think
you want to go
either
Hasselbeck?
Hasselbeck or Rivers would be my guess. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, they went to the playoffs that year, so I'd have to think that Rivers hit him some. I would rather go Hasselbeck if that's what we're going between.
All right. I guess we're going to go with Matt Hasselbeck then.
Okay.
And the elder Josh, hate that name. What do you guys have?
Well, we had a pretty good talk about which ones we thought did throw to him. And it was, Rivers and Wentz, and we were pretty sure Brissett and Hasselbeck were either during or post Luck. And then I was thinking, I think Hilton and Luck were in the same draft class. So Manning would have been out of town already. So I think he never caught a pass from Peyton Manning. That's who we're checking in with.
One team is getting their points. Peyton Manning left for the Broncos in 2012, the same year that T.Y. Hilton was a rookie. All right. Just one more of these left. Sorry for the torture, Josh. So here we go.
Hey, I actually have some
Josh
information
had
on
that
that one.
Yeah, Josh had that one, but this seems like these are difficult. So apologies. I didn't think they were that hard, but I guess. Okay.
No, you just have to kind of talk through the different names.
Yeah, you got to work it out.
It's not necessarily hard per se, but you got a lot of discussing to do.
Makes sense. All right. Question number 3. JD Martinez got traded to the Boston Red Sox in 2018, a team recognized as one of the greatest of the last 2 decades. I didn't write that. Ryan Myers did. And David certainly didn't. Who was not on the World Series winning team with Martinez? Mookie Betts, Rafael Devers, David Ortiz, Justin Pedroia, David Price, or Chris Sale?
We're going to check in.
All right. The elder Josh, hate that name's checked in. Never skip leg days. You guys can talk it out.
Yeah. 5 years for the Hall of Fame.
All right. Well, then.
So it has to be Poppy. And
Fat Poppy.
Martinez was a DH.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be DHing on that team if Poppy was there.
No, because he can hit a bunch of home runs 280 feet down the line. Because he's not that good. Well, good enough to be the second best designated hitter of all time. All right, you want to check in with David Ortiz?
I'm with you on that, by the way.
Oh, you damn right.
Yeah,
all
because
right.
I'm a lifelong Mariners fan.
Yes, that's right.
So.
All right, so checking in David Ortiz.
Yes.
And the elder Josh, hate that name. What'd you guys check in with?
Same discussion was, hey, wait, Ortiz just went into the Hall of Fame. You got to have 5 years out of the league. He couldn't have been on the 2018 team. So we also are checking in with David Ortiz.
All right, both teams are getting points. The answer is David Ortiz because he retired after the 2016 season. So there you go.
I believe he was getting shot at Dominican cafes by that time.
Oh, God. Wow. He sure was.
Yeah. All right. So after the second quarter, we have a score of Never Skip Leg Days with 250 points. And the elder Josh, hate that name, with 280 points. And that will bring us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 25 points.
Question number 1 of halftime is, in the 1982 novel Shoeless Joe, the main character kidnaps what reclusive author and brings him to a baseball game? Hint, it's not Terrence Mann, but it is someone who wrote about a catcher.
Yeah. Yep. I'm good. Check him.
All right. The elder Josh, hate that name's checked in. Never skip leg day. Talk it out.
I would have had it without the clue for the catcher, thanks. But yeah, J.D. Salinger.
All right. And the elder Josh, hate that name. What'd you guys come up with?
Yeah, for what it's worth, I also would have had it without the hint. If we're dueling not hintsters. But it's a very disappointing book written by. It's definitely not about baseball, written by J.D. Salinger.
Shoeless Joe. Oh, you mean the catcher in the rye? Yeah. No, I know that's yeah, exactly. Yeah, the answer is J.D. Salinger, and also that catcher in the rye has nothing to do with the baseball catcher. So,
Just,
I was gonna say he had the answer in our chat before he was even close to getting to the hint.
yeah.
I kind of like the dueling non-hintsters.
Do we have an episode title already? So
Either that or
that.
rheumatoid
Got that written
arthritis.
down.
yeah, rheumatoid arthritis Dickey is going to be tough to top.
Oh, I was laughing during the last question. Now I'm sad because it's not going to be as funny. But we had R.A. Dickey, we had a Y.A. Tittle, and then we had a T.Y. Hilton question. And I said, thirsty young Hilton.
Oh, funny.
Anyways.
All right. Moving right along here to question number 2. Author who 25 years ago released a book that introduced a sport that is now played by 200 or more college teams around the country.
Good.
Yeah, check in.
Check it.
All right. Never skip leg day. Checked in. The elder Josh, hate that name. You guys can talk it out.
Well, this is either Jim Ultimate, who started at Ultimate Frisbee, or I think it could be J.K. Rowling.
That makes sense. I'm
This
not
is
wearing my U.S. Quidditch hat, but
This is a very loose interpretation of the word sport.
it's a college sport played competitively.
It's broom ball on a field. But yeah, okay.
They don't hit the ball with the brooms. They just have to run around with the broom between their legs.
I've never seen the actual game played.
Google
so.
it. It's
Or don't.
oh do.
Is it better or worse than that soccer where they have 3 goals and 3 teams playing at the same time?
That's
Never mind,
gotta be more
Josh.
entertaining
I
than
asked Josh. Yeah.
actual
No
soccer.
answer.
How about that one where it's like in Scandinavian countries where they have like horse competitions, but the girls are riding the horses, like the fake ones with the horses on a stick,
Spoople.
Hobby horses with dressage would be amazing.
Dude, that's what this is the thing.
That is a bet. That's a
It is
bet.
a total
Can we?
thing.
Hey, triviality, if you're listening, that's your next bet payoff. Is you have to do a full dressage routine with a hobby horse.
Can we just all agree that J.K. Rowling is just a stand-up individual?
Wow.
Just kidding.
She can be on that same
Just
Sun
kidding.
rocket.
Nuker with the others.
I think she's in a Rolodex, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's on an FTG
And she's not in
list,
the
that's for
Knucklehead Rolodex. She's
She's not.
By the way, we say J.K. Rowling's too, so we.
Oh,
we
yeah,
have-
I figured that out. Yeah, the answer is J.K. Rowling. Sorry about that. Let's go back to the actual question. And with that, we'll just, since our after question conversation happened during the question, we'll move on to question number 3. Performer name of a musical artist who got his name due to his likeness to a Hall of Fame baseball player.
I know those are all actual words. I'm just not sure what they mean altogether.
Not when you combine them, you're not sure. You can suss it out. I've been there. English is a difficult language.
Eric is good at sussing.
I can suss.
Is that what the kids mean when they say you're sus?
Yes.
Yeah, it means you can figure out questions from clues. At least that's how I've been interpreting it. Have I been doing it wrong this whole time?
Oh my gosh. I was still laughing at Mark Grenier saying, hey, when you mentioned busted on the
Yeah.
podcast, and my daughter said that to me the other day and I had to look it up.
It's funny.
Oh man.
Oh, by the way, we're halfway through the episode. I mean, it's a normal episode, more than just him listens, but hi, Mark. Since that's become our typical thing.
Yeah.
We need to start doing it
Hit
like
up with
Tommy
fast
Wiseau in the room though.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mom.
It's tearing me apart, Lisa.
You got 30 seconds, guys.
We need more than that.
Extension.
Yeah.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Hey, is that what extends is for? For more time
Yeah.
for questions?
Could it be? Oh, how about this? From
Oh, yeah. Yep. Let's do it.
all right, let's do it.
All
Checking
right.
in.
Never skip leg days checked in. You guys, Elder Josh, you guys pretty much gotta tell me what you got right now.
All right. Well, do we just go with that one then, even though he's not a Hall of Famer?
You're muted, Josh.
It doesn't matter. I
okay.
I had as much to say
Gotcha.
on speaker
So you were
as I did muted. So
Yeah. So I thought JJ Fad just because JJ Fad, and that's a group. And then the only acronym name that I can think of. So we're gonna say this guy looks like Mark. He's a young guy that looks like Mark Grace. MGK, the Mark Grace kid.
and we're putting Mark Grace into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a Hall of all right.
He's a Hall of Famer in our hearts.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. And never skip leg days. What you guys come up with?
I think we may have stumbled onto this, Marcus.
Damn, that was clutch. If this is right.
If this is right, yeah, I think that this might be MC Hammer from Hammering Hank. They do look a lot alike.
Well, one team is getting points because
Dear
of
God.
hammering Hank Aaron.
Dear
MC
God.
Hammer. And I wrote the JD Salinger one, but the J.K. Rowling and MC Hammer one were David, so you can blame him for that. So,
Oh man. I'm gonna go get my hammer pants and put them on.
Oh,
There you
please
go.
do. Please do.
That was such a vague question.
Hey,
I agree. We
David.
had nothing.
David,
Marcus.
you normally have clues in your questions, David.
all right.
that question was too legit.
Too legit to quit.
No, that question was I can't touch
Sweat
this.
swirling all over my chest. I could rap
Josh
that
was
whole
almost
song.
ready to pray just to make it today.
All right. Well, after halftime, we have a score of the Elder Josh, hate that name, with 330, and Never Skip Leg Day with 350 points. Oh, wait. No, what am I talking about? 325 points. I gave you guys 50 instead of 20.
Yeah, they don't need extra points.
Yeah, exactly. So 330 to 325. And now on to the second half.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
Today's third quarter will be Flop, Turn, and River.
Flop, Turn, and River. For this quarter, there will be 3 questions consisting of 5 clues. The first 3 clues will be given before the teams decide if they want to check in with their guess. The last 2 clues will be given one at a time, with teams deciding if they want to check in with their guess after each subsequent clue. If a correct answer is checked in after the first 3 clues, the team will receive 50 points. After the 4th clue, 30, and after the 5th clue, 20.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. Who am I? Clue number 1. 2021 Hall of Fame inductee. Clue number 2. Unanimous 2009 All-American in their sport. Clue number 3. 9 years as a pro, but not as successful as in college.
Yeah, let's take another.
Okay. Never skip leg days. Taking another one. The Elder Josh. Hate that name. You guys can go ahead and tell me what you want to do. Or if you want to give your thoughts over to the other team, you can talk it out.
What do you think?
I think we need another clue.
Yep, I'm good with it.
Okay. Clue number 4. Currently, the running backs coach for his alma mater.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll check in.
All right. Never skip leg days is checked in. The Other Josh. Hate that name. You guys can talk it out.
What do you think?
I'm thinking I would like to know running backs drafted in, I don't know, would that be 09 or 10?
Yeah.
I mean, because the 2009 All-American, if it was for the 2009 season, he would have been drafted in 2010.
What's the waiting period on NFL? Is it
my guess is that this is going to be College Football Hall of Fame because he was not as successful in the pros as he was in college.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So that's why I'm thinking it's going to be somebody who was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. But I don't pay very close attention to that stuff. I don't know if you do.
No, I'm trying to think of. Yeah, there's nobody that's really sticking out for me. If you want to,
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere. I mean, it's 10 less points. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's just. Yeah,
we give up our lead, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. All right.
We'll
All
take
right, clue.
Yeah.
Clue number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Number 28 retired by Clemson.
Oh, Clemson running back.
DB
Sweeney?
Oh, I think I got it.
Oh,
I think it's CJ Spiller.
there you go. Yeah, DB Cooper Sweeney Spiller. CJ
So we're
Spiller.
gonna check in with CJ Spiller.
All right. And never skip leg days. What did you guys check in with?
Defensive back Sweeney.
That is not correct.
Yeah, we also got to CJ Spiller. Remembered he was on the staff of Clemson this year. He had to have, and then we figured out the 2010 timeline. That's all sounded right. So also CJ Spiller. You'd think we'd have run into all of that when we looked up all his stuff on that Patreon exclusive that we did that one time, where we just kept looking up CJ Spiller stats. But
I must not have been on that one. I must not listen to that one. I listened to them all.
It was the one where who had all of the 20. It was 20 questions, and we had to try to figure out who the person was.
Okay,
is that David?
Yeah,
Sounds like a David type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it was funny to add the Hall of Fame one because I guess this in January of 2021, he was in his closet looking through shoe boxes and organizing things and getting things thrown away, et cetera, when he got a phone call, and he made the comment that he never answers the phone call if he doesn't have the number programmed in his phone. But he had the dog at the dog groomers, and he figured it was probably them calling to pick up the dog. And it was the athletic director, I think somebody from Clemson, to say that he's been inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. So I thought that was kind of a cute story. So yeah, I wanted to put that in there.
My cute CJ Spiller story is I overdrafted him that year that the Bills coach was like, we're going to give him the ball 1,000 times this year. And they gave it to him like twice the whole season. And it made me really mad.
I mean, he had played 9 seasons in the NFL, so you can't really say he was a bust. You know, I mean, he wasn't as great as his college career, but I mean, 9 seasons in the NFL is not. That's nothing to
say it, Marcus. Say it.
Seahawks legend CJ Spiller.
Okay, moving on to question number 2. Again, who am I? Clue number 1. Married the sister of a college and pro rival. Clue number 2. Another brother-in-law is a current NHLer. Clue number 3. Currently a sports analyst.
You see what I put, Dan?
You good with that?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I agree with you. I just was
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna check in.
All right. The elder Josh, hate that name, is checked in. Never skip leg days. You guys can talk it out.
Sorry, I didn't know we were doing gamesmanship. I was just like, I didn't know you acknowledged what I wrote.
I didn't. I guess I'm sorry.
But so we are in agreement. Yeah. We are checking in with AJ Hawk.
All right. And the other Josh, hate that name. Would you guys check in with?
Real quick, Eric, before you go in, I was playing a little of the same gamesmanship of being like, I'll just wait a little bit to respond to Wally. I don't want him to check in too fast. So,
yeah, we have the husband of the woman with the worst jersey in college football history.
Can we stop just as a peoples? Can we stop wearing split jerseys? Like, we get it. They're going to tell your story. They're going to tell your story during the game. They're going to show you up in the stands. You could have 2 jerseys that you hold up. Don't have them sewn together. It looks terrible.
There's a lot of monetary effort that went into that, and it was unnecessary.
If they both
AJ
have
Hawk.
the same last name on the back of the jersey and they can like seamlessly put the last name on there, I think that would be kind of cool. But that's
like the Diggses, like if the Diggses did that, that would be okay. But anyway.
Still don't. Just don't.
Also, don't do it. Yeah.
What do you guys think about, like, if you have a player that played for 2 different teams and you want to have the jersey that's
Nope.
Okay.
No, you get a white jersey and then you put the logos on it like Gaylord Perry did for his Hall of Fame game or whatever they were. You know, he had all of the icons on of his 8 teams. So do something like that.
All right. So the other things on my list here, clue number 4. In 2005, he grew his hair out in honor of Pat Tillman. And clue number 5, won a Super Bowl in 2010 and now seems to be the Aaron Rodgers whisperer for Pat McAfee. And the answer, correctly answered by both teams, is AJ Hawk.
AJ Hawk. They always do that to him every time they bring him on the show. It's so funny because he hates it.
And he hates having to be like the one that interprets everything that Aaron Rodgers is going to say.
Pat knows that it bugs him, so he's always like, AJ, have you talked to Pat or have you talked to Aaron lately? How come you didn't tell us he had a broken thumb? And he's like, shut up. You don't know. You know that I don't. And with the second clue, he talked about getting to party with the Stanley Cup because who's his brother-in-law again? It's
Jack Johnson.
Yes. And so him and Bobby Carpenter, who was his roommate at Ohio State, were just getting ripped with Jack Johnson with the Stanley Cup.
Bobby Carpenter, who got drafted by the Cowboys because Jerry Jones was friends with his dad. The Dodgers did that with Mike Piazza in like the 43rd round. The Cowboys did it in the first.
That is
Awesome.
100% a Cowboys thing to do.
Love it.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Moving on to question number 3, and I think you all know what question number 3 is going to be. It is a who am I? Shocker.
It's AJ Hawk. We just
You're-
discussed this.
You're Matt Doherty.
Clue number 1, drafted in the 3rd round in 2010. Clue number 2, 3-time All-Star. Clue number 3, born and raised in Del City, Oklahoma, a suburb of Oklahoma City, and won 2 state championships in different sports playing for Carl Albert High School. Sorry.
Don't you put that evil on me.
Ricky Booby. Ricky Booby.
I'm sorry. We're gonna get on a tangent of quoting
Ricky Booby.
Hey, I hope you like this. It was on sale at Target. It was half off.
What if he just said, I like really, really thin pancakes?
That seems like a fair compromise. No, Pepe Le Pew. All right. Anyways,
Dude,
What
okay.
do the French invent? Existentialism,
Existentialism.
democracy, and then menage a trois.
it's like,
I
those
don't know,
are
Ricky,
three
those are
pretty
pretty
good
good.
things.
Pretty good.
Okay, we can't get sidetracked by this. We have to press forward. All right, Dan, you.
Yeah. Let's
Okay,
take another
we'll
one.
take another.
Okay. Never skip leg day or skip leg day. Take another one. Elder Josh, hate that name. You guys can. What do you want to do?
You want to take another clue and see?
Probably. 'cause
Okay, all right, yeah.
We're just sort of throwing
we
darts
are.
right
yeah,
now.
Yeah, we are. Okay, all right. Yeah, take another clue.
All right. Clue number 4. Traded from Miami to Philadelphia in 2018 in exchange for Jorge Alfaro, Sixton Sanchez, and Will Stewart.
Yep. We can check in.
Elder Josh, hate the names, checked in. Never skip leg day. You guys can talk it out.
Ah, yes. JT Real Muto is who you're trying to figure out. Right?
Yeah, that's got to be
Yeah.
it.
The fastest catcher I've ever seen. No disrespect to Jason Kendall, but man, JT, he can fly. Yeah. You want to go with that?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. We are checking in with JT Real Muto.
And the Elder Josh, hate that name. What'd you guys check in with?
Yeah, we were kicking around that name before. We decided to take another clue, and that pretty much locked it in. So, yeah, traded for another former Ranger, great and an awful Ranger trade. But we said JT Real Muto.
Yep. And clue number 5 was going to be, or still is, signed a 5-year, $115.5 million contract with the Phillies in 2021 to become their everyday starting catcher. Answer is JT Real Muto.
He's the
Learned a lot
real
about
Muto.
him today.
He's the real Muto.
He is.
No, he's not. He's not no fake Muto.
He's not the great Muda, but he's the real Muto.
There you go.
Well, if he's the real Muto, was that him and Godzilla and whatever that first installment of the new trilogy was? Nope. All right.
Yes,
Anyways,
I believe
I'm not a nerd about Godzilla or anything. Don't worry about it.
Was he actually in the band with Ricky Martin?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's what I was going
Real
with.
Menudo.
Yeah, Real
Yeah,
Menudo.
the Real Menudo.
JT Real Menudo.
Justin Timberlake, real Menudo.
All right. So after the third quarter, we have a score of the Elder Josh, hate that name, with 430 points, and Never Skip Leg Day with 435 points. And that brings us to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up, This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
The categories for today's fourth quarter are back-to-back in different area codes in the NFL. Yeah, ain't gonna happen in Major League Baseball. Sustained greatness and name the team. Ambiguous category. And question number 4, a garden of sound in overseas sports. It is now time for the teams to place their wagers. Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question number 1. Who is the only player to lead the NFL in yards from scrimmage in consecutive years for 2 different teams?
We are going to check in.
All right. Never skip leg day. Checked in. Elder Josh. Hate that name. You guys can talk it out.
Those names, I mean, you could be Falk, could be Tomlinson, James.
I don't think Tomlinson was a big, like, I don't know. I don't think of him as like leading from all-purpose yards. But
I mean,
it could be wrong.
Another name that I was thinking maybe Curtis Martin.
Yeah, that was another one that popped in my head too. I was like, Jets guy.
Yeah, Jets, and because he would have been Jets and Patriots. Is that where he went after?
Yeah.
But it's that whole back-to-back year thing. That's the
So the only thing that Falk was the first one that popped in my head because he was big with the Colts and then came to the Rams and was immediately really big.
Yeah.
I thought Tomlinson went to the Jets later in his career, so I don't
correct,
think he was
like way later.
Yeah.
I don't know. Falk sound, that's the first name that would pop in my head. Like you put it in there, it's like, yeah, that's the one that
I'm good with it. All right, so we'll check in with Marshall Falk for 100 points.
And never skip leg day. What did you guys check in with and for how many points?
Yeah, we kind of threw around a couple names, not as many as you guys, but we also had a name that came up first that we couldn't really get off of. Shout out to
David.
Shout out to David because apparently none of us could get off Marshall Falk. So we also checked in with Marshall Falk for 100 points.
Both teams are getting their points. The answer is Marshall Falk.
We couldn't get off of Marshall Falk, but David was already there.
Come on, guys.
And David wrote that question too. So yeah.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Oh, he's becoming a vague, so a little bit of he usually gives 80 more stats than this.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you say his favorite Street Fighter character is Vega? Nope.
I would.
Yes.
All right.
So it's hard for him to type, though.
So the scores have changed, but the difference hasn't. Marcus and Dan still have a 5-point lead going into question number 2. After the Marlins, Alcantara, right? That's how you say the name. Alcantara won a Cy Young Award this year. Who are the only 2 teams in MLB who have never won a Cy Young?
We're going to check in.
All right. The Elder Josh, hate that name. Checked in. Never skip leg days. You guys can talk it out.
The Rockies have got to be one of them.
Yeah, you're not winning a Cy Young there. It's near impossible.
Just because you can bunt a home run.
Yeah, just because I could check swing and hit it for 410.
Did Kenny Rogers win a Cy Young?
Kick-ass chicken, that's for sure.
I think so.
We're going about this based on how quickly Eric got this.
Well, you said that, and I was like, I thought fairly recently we had an episode where, or was it I'm trying to remember if it was a Cy Young or
it was probably on an OT.
Or a perfect game, maybe. Maybe that's what
yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
I don't think he ever won a Cy Young. I mean, he was.
So his favorite player never won one while he was playing for them?
He was fairly pedestrian. I mean, he was a decent pitcher, but he was never.
What about his favorite player when he was playing for them?
My favorite player wasn't a pitcher. What are you talking about?
You did. Yeah. Okay. Stop it.
Rob Deere wasn't a pitcher.
That was not my favorite player.
Well, if you're saying that Nolan Ryan never won one while he was playing for them,
Yeah.
then I could get on board for the Rangers.
Yeah. I'm the more I think about it, the more I'm pretty confident it's the Rangers. Yeah, so I think the Rangers and the Rockies have got to be
All right, I'm good
our
with
guess
that.
here. Yep. Yeah, we'll check in with that.
And over to the elder Josh, hate that name. And can you also, Walling, inform them about what it is that they were confused about there for a minute?
Real quick, I'm sure that everybody knows, but how many points did you guys wager on that one?
Oh, 100.
Oh, yeah, that's what I figured. But
Thanks, Josh.
yeah.
So I heard this the other day, and that's why I knew it. But also, it was a kick in my nuts because I already knew half of it. And yeah, so the Rangers. So first off, Nolan has never won a Cy Young, which is stupid.
Travesty.
I believe when he went into the Hall of Fame, they said it's really stupid that he hasn't won a Cy Young. And no, Kenny Rogers did throw a perfect game, and believe it or not, luminaries like Roger Pavlik and Rick Helling never really made it to the top. And then, the Rockies were the other team. So we checked in with Rockies and Rangers for 100 points.
All right. Both teams are getting their points. The answers are the Texas Rangers and the Colorado Rockies.
The answer is
Them answers.
Matt's words and language
the answer is
with the good stuff.
Them
The
answers.
Rangers and the Rockies.
I mean, that is what everybody listens to us for, is proper word
Right.
enunciation.
So now, you were doing your best Kenneth Branagh from Wild Wild West, whatever that character was. That was
There you
insane.
go.
So the Rangers never won the C.Y. Young Award?
See
Yeah.
what young.
Chris Young Award.
Oh yeah, I should probably have told you guys that in the fourth quarter I pretty much abandoned my initialisms. I think you guys figured that out by now. So
That's that first question. I'm like, wait,
I was
not
gonna
an
mention
initials.
I was gonna mention that
MF
going
Falk.
into the fourth quarter and I forgot to. We'll move on to question number 3. Oh, and if you needed an update on the score, it hasn't changed. It's still up by 3 points or 5 points, excuse me. Question number 3. Name this team. They went undefeated in 2006, 2013, 2016, and 2018. They won the pinnacle of their sport 8 times in 2 different competitions.
We're checking
Okay.
in.
Okay. Never skip leg days checked in. The elder Josh. Name you guys can talk it out.
They can't talk it out. They don't have any time.
Yeah, there's no
We
time
did-
to
we-
talk it out.
Yeah, that's fine. We glommed onto the idea of having the pinnacle of the sport be 2 different competitions as a soccer thing. And so we played a little Know Your Host, and we checked in with Bayern Munich.
And
100
never
points.
for 100 points.
Yep.
And never skip leg day. What'd you guys check in with?
Funny enough, I also checked in with Bayern Munich. I don't think it's
Or-
right, but
for 100.
for 100 points.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
Well, I'm glad that my question had equally confounded you two, both you teams. No, but the answer is the team that won 4 gold medals in the Olympics and 4 World Cups. It is the U.S. women's national soccer team.
No,
two different
Olympics
competitions.
and
Dog.
World
Of the
Cup.
World Cup and the Olympics.
Mm.
Do you hate
I
my
was
question
right.
still?
Well, let me ask you this question: was it a soccer question?
we did get that.
Do I need to answer? But do I need to answer if I hated that question?
There you go. All right, so the scores have changed, but the difference still has not changed. Marcus and Dan are up by 5 points. Going into the last question. Question number 4. Each year, the winner of the AFL Grand Final is awarded a Premiership Cup and a flag or a pennant. But the team with the worst record is rewarded with this symbolic utensil? What is it?
Weekends check in, Marcus.
I figured we could.
All right. Never skip leg day is checked in. The elder Josh, hate that name.
God.
Talk it out.
I think it might be a spoon.
You know, that sounds right when you say that.
It might be a wooden spoon, actually. I don't know for sure. I thought I heard something about that. I remember reading, you know, when we were getting like all hot and heavy into it, into the AFL, it's like, oh, and reading a bunch of things. I think it's a spoon. And if we need to be more specific, it would be a wooden spoon. But
just go with spoon. I believe it's another word for an old wooden ship.
That's a schooner.
Not a spooner.
It's not a schooner, it's a sailboat.
Schooner is a sailboat, stupid head.
Kids, go watch Mallrats.
No, kids do not go watch Mallrats.
No, kids don't. No.
Kids go watch Mallrats. You can see how we grew up.
But young adult tittles, go watch Mallrats.
If you're in between a young adult tittle and a rheumatoid arthritis Dickey, that's the age range.
It's a good range to watch Mallrats.
Yep. Okay, we'll check it. Yeah, let's check in with Spoon.
Spoon for 100.
All right. And never skip leg day. What did you guys have for how many points?
If you listen to my most recent triviality game that I hosted, one of my final questions was about a wooden spoon that stirred risotto rice, and that's because of the AFL and their trinkets that they give to the worst team, usually North Melbourne. And it's a wooden spoon.
Yeah, that's why the category was called a garden of sound.
Oh, because it's Spoon Man.
Because Spoon Man, Sound Garden.
Oh, did we come together with our hands?
Yes, the answer is a wooden spoon. It's only been North Melbourne the last 2 seasons, but luckily there's nobody alive that has seen it when Geelong last won it in 1908. So,
hey, that's making a pretty big
brag.
assumption. That's a pretty big assumption you're making, that no Geelong fan has been alive long enough to.
As far as I've been concerning myself with the AFL, North Melbourne's won it every time.
they are defeated.
Thus, they are the only winner.
Schrodinger's wooden spoon. If Dan didn't open the box, did they actually play?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
John Doe has the upper hand.
All right. This game has come to an end, and here are our final scores.
The screeching end.
The elder Josh, hate that name, finished with a very respectable 630 points, but our clipboard captains of the game, who are receiving the coveted Rick Meyer Award, is Never Skip Leg Day with 635 points. Yay!
Seattle Seahawks legend Rick Meyer.
The reason I came up with that is because Scott, who was supposed to be on the show, who was not able to make it for the recording, is a Jets fan and a Notre Dame fan, and Rick Meyer was a backup for the Jets for one season. But wait, he didn't go to Notre Dame. Never mind. So maybe I forget why.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Okay, yeah. I was thinking.
I don't know why Scott insists on calling him Rick Meyer. It's just Meyer. The first R is silent.
Yeah. Did I say that, or did Scott?
No, you didn't. But Scott, when he says it, he says Rick Meyer. I'm like, no, you don't need to say that extra R, buddy.
Do you mean our Scott or Scott, the guest that was supposed to be on tonight?
Our.
Oh,
Scott.
Okay, yeah, because this was for
Scott
Highland, who was.
We don't pronounce that R.
Tonight.
Nicole.
Our Scott. Yeah,
and I know it doesn't matter. I was just curious. It's like, has he been a clipboard captain already?
Maybe
he was once.
He was.
Well, it's at this point we're not.
Yeah,
it was Jake Manny's hosted a game. This guard graduated from Hogwarts. Episode 152.
I just looked up the wooden spoon, by the way.
I was just doing that.
St. Kilda
Yeah,
got the first 6 of them And in those 6 seasons, they won 2 games.
Well, at least they got something for playing.
They've won 27 times. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, they won.
My buddy Nick in Australia, who was the one who I was talking to about this, I said, I need an AFL question. He said, why don't you ask who's won the what is it called? The award
Brownlee Medal
award the most. And I said, well, there's 2 guys and they were from like the 19 teens and 1920s. These people are not going to know who these people are. I've never heard these names before. So
yeah, so you got...
I barely know the name of the guys on my team still.
Yeah.
St. Kilda 27 times, North.
Sorry, Hugh.
Looks like 15 times. Melbourne 12.
Sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
As Dan shows us a picture of MaxCom.
As I go all the way down to the bottom, the Power have not won a wooden spoon, but they also haven't been around that long. So
yeah, the background picture of mine is my premiership, so of my phone. Anyway, okay. Yeah, exactly. I was happy for your team when you won a premiership.
I was happy for your team too, mainly because they beat the Swans.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, we're no longer doing our end of game thank you and love yous, so we'll just wrap it up. Does anyone have anything important to say? Oh, Josh, do we have the new store for that? Our TeePublic moved from TeePublic over to something else. We can cut all this out.
It's in the process of. I think there are a few of the logos up. I don't know. You must have said they must have. I don't know. They heard something funny that you said.
I said we're not doing the diatribe.
We're not throwing those things over to us anymore.
Well, no, this is more asking about.
We're talking about like legitimate podcast related things now, like selling things on our merch.
I'm not sure. Not everything is over on threadless.com. Search Benchwarmers TP. But we'll eventually have all of our artwork to buy better quality products at threadless.com.
And we'll have links in the show notes. Hopefully by the time this episode comes out in January sometime, we'll have all that all set up and everyone can go over there. So you'll hear
better quality than Publix had for us.
Publix, yeah, the grocery store.
I've heard they've got good sandwiches.
They do. Oh my gosh, they do. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for playing tonight. Thank you all for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at Benchwarmers TP.